Welcome to Nissan SILVIA spec-R AERO S15 touring car. So today we are going to be taking this race car and making it better by engine swapping it. But before we do that, well, we need to see how good this race car is standard. So if you want to get your hands on this vehicle, you can pick it up from Brand for 350,000 credits. Now what you get is the SR20. It's a turbocharged 2-liter inline 4-cylinder, produces 355 brake horsepower, front engine, rear wheel drive, and comes in at just 1000 kgs, and it also has a top speed of 166 miles per hour. So what that equates to when you want to actually use it on circuit. When you want to take this vehicle on over to a circuit like Chaos or Driving Park, well, you should be in for a decent time. With it being a race vehicle, it doesn't really slide out much. Now it comes on racing hard tires standard, and with those tires it allows the vehicle to have tons of grip. With 355 brake horsepower, it's not really pushing the limits of the tires, like you aren't going to be lighting up the rear wheels and fighting for traction. Now we see coming down Chaos Driving Park straight away, we are doing about 225 kilometers per hour before we need to slam on the brakes. And once we do that, well, with the AERO that comes standard with the Nissan, well, we are planted and just hunkered down to the ground. And we see that this, with the good braking, good acceleration, will equate to averaging lap times around the 1 minute 42 second mark, which frankly is not that fast for what's supposed to be considered a race car, as we see that fully upgraded street cars easily break into the 1 minute 35 second mark. But hey, let's see once we add some upgrades to this vehicle if we can actually make it a lot faster. So if we take it on over to the tuning shop, well, we see that we don't actually have that many options to play with, because with it being a group 4 vehicle, well, a lot of the parts are going to be not applicable. So we see that we are very limited when it comes to what we can add to a vehicle. Because I mean, what we have a transmission, we can just change tire compounds, and we can however add a high RPM turbocharger. And this is great because it will now up the power to 542 brake horsepower, which is a lot better than the standard 355. So it's nothing that we can complain about. Now let's say you want to change the visual customization or the look of the Nissan SILVIA. Well, that's the thing, don't really have customization. What you can do, however, is change the rear wing. It has the same wing options as your standard road going S15. So now with the SILVIA being fully upgraded, we do feel there is a noticeable difference. The vehicle now just gains speed a lot quicker, but that's thanks to the turbocharger. We see coming down Chaos Driving Park straight away, we are now doing over 250 kilometers per hour before we need to slam on the brakes. Now with the vehicle being on racing soft tires, well, you're able to really just set fast, consistent laps. The vehicle has tons of grip. It's a race car. You don't really have to stress about, okay, is it going to be any good around the circuit? This is what it was made for. Especially if you don't really play around with the suspension settings, you're guaranteed a good baseline. However, if you do want to perfect it and get the full capabilities out of this vehicle, well, that's when you need to start tuning it. You should find yourself setting decently quick lap times. Now around here also Driving Park, I'm finding myself set lap times around the 1 minute 36 second mark, which means there are street cars that are faster in this vehicle. But that's the thing, a street car may be faster in this, but it does not have the fuel economy that this has, because with it being a group 4 vehicle, well, it has just great fuel consumption. We see that if we take around a WTC 700, it's able to travel at quite high speeds. If I extended the gears, we are going to see this vehicle travel over 300 kilometers per hour. And with it being on fuel map level 3, by the end of the first lap, we do find ourselves crossing the line with about 64% of fuel remaining. This is with me using an automatic transmission, no fuel saving, and just driving as fast as possible. So 64% of fuel remaining, is not too shabby. You are guaranteed 3 laps out of this vehicle, so it's nothing we can complain about. However, I did say we can make it a lot better. So if we head on over to GT Auto and we see we have 2 options for an engine swap. We can either swap in the engine from the Nissan GT-R Turismo engine from the Nissan GR2 vehicle. So swap in the one for 600,000 credits. That way you can use the vehicle. It's gonna be a lot faster than what we currently have, and it's gonna come with great fuel economy. So once you finish engine swap it with the engine from the Group 2 Nissan, you can then head on over to a tuning shop. Once you head on over there, once again, it's a race car engine. You don't have that many modifications you can do to it. However, if you slap on a high RPM turbocharger, you will bring the power figure up to 840 brake horsepower, which is a lot more than standard. So let's now take a around circuit and see the overall difference. Now when it comes to using this vehicle, it's a lot livelier. The vehicle steps out a lot more, it's a lot more aggressive, and we find ourselves traveling almost 300 kilometers per hour coming down Kyoto Driving Park Chaseway before we need to slam on the brakes to make it around the first corner. So it's a quick vehicle. Now when it comes to lap times, well, we do find ourselves now setting lap times around the 1 minute 34 second mark, which is an improvement. It's nothing drastic compared to what we originally had. I mean, it's a 2 second time save, but we're gonna see the biggest difference when it comes to the WTC 700 around Le Mans. Now with this vehicle, I did have to detune it to get down to 700 performance points, and once I did, well, I found the vehicle on fuel map level 3 going quite far on a single tank of fuel, because we see at the end of the first lap we are going to be left with 76% of fuel remaining. That is a lot more fuel saving, and I think that equates to another lap out on circuit before you need to dive into pits. And you know, when it comes to grinding out these longer events, you are going to need a vehicle that you don't go into pits that often. You need to be out as long as possible, racking up as many laps as possible to be the most efficient, and that is exactly what this engine swaps. Now around Le Mans, it's not really setting the fastest lap times. I found my initial laps being a 4 minutes and 4 second lap, which is a lot slower than the Toyota 86 GRMN, which has a Group 2 Toyota, so a Group 2 Lexus engine in it. So honestly, I will say if you have to pick between these 2 swaps, go with the 86 swap, because it's genuinely a lot better than this. But hey, this is not a bad engine swap to use, so if you want to try it out, by all means recommend it, because still guaranteed to do some money grinding and get all your money's worth out of this vehicle. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts on this engine swap in the comment section down below, and with this being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.